I'll share a bit more about myself for those of you who do not know me. For a majority of my career, I was a sales director. That was almost a decade. I recruited and led a team of thousands of reps. I became the youngest, fastest, and highest earning sales director for that US-based direct selling company. Somewhere along this time, I was mentored by Peng Joon, who opened my eyes to digital marketing. And due to this, I built a lead acquisition system that leveraged on social media. And this was the lead acquisition system that was able to help us book out 15 to 20 meetings per day. Here are snapshots of the calendars of our sales reps. So this guy would book out 20 to 25 meetings per day. It's kind of crazy. And due to this, overall, we were able to achieve a revenue record of 500 million pesos. But that year when we launched it, it was 100 million pesos. And this was selling soaps and shampoos, by the way. And we did not use any ad spend. And this is when I realized that I enjoyed creating digital systems. So 2021 came and I wanted to get a piece of the digital market in a bigger way. So I started repositioning by building a social media marketing agency. We serviced multiple industries from law firms, clinics, e-commerce, real estate, coaching. At one point, we even did hospices. And we did every possible service in the market. So we did SEO, web design, web development, Google ads, Facebook ads, Instagram ads, TikTok UGC. We shot reels and short form content. And we were able to get our best client a 7 times return on their ad spend. And we were able to scale the business up to a multi-6-figure revenue. In the recent, we decided to restructure our company and rebrand it, calling it acquisitionsystems.io. because we wanted to focus on solving revenue problems instead of marketing problems. So today, we implement digital systems to help qualified companies increase their revenue by 5 to 10 million pesos in 90 days, or they get their money back. We got our most recent client 200x return on their ad spend. All right, let's begin. Insights are defined as a revelation that is hidden in plain sight. In the world we live in, insights are a major source of power. It was like that before, and it is still like that today. In fact, the lack of insights can enslave us mentally and historically, even literally. If you take a look at history, religions, regimes, and the elites have always maintained power by doing what? Withholding information. If you take a look at the Catholic Church a few hundred years ago, they were the only ones who could, quote unquote, translate the Latin word of God. And because of this, common folk did not know what was written in the Bible. And due to this, the Catholic Church took advantage of the common folk by telling them things like, if you donate money to the church, we will pray for you so that your soul won't stay in purgatory for a long time. These offerings were called indulgences. You can Google it. And because of these indulgences, the church was able to amass quite a sum of money. And it was mainly due to the knowledge gap. It's why the rich become richer and the poor become poorer. Financial crisis of 2008, or recession, Lehman Brothers. During this time, there were a lot of people who lost their jobs, lost their savings, lost their homes. But there was actually a very small percentage of people that were able to make money during this time. These people were able to predict that there was going to be a crash. Therefore, they were able to short stocks. And these people made a killing. The normal people could have also done this if they had a decent amount of savings. However, there was a knowledge gap. There was an information gap. It's also why first world nations flourish while third world countries struggle. For example, we have North Korea and South Korea. After the occupation of Japan in Korea, they were divided, and North Korea decided to be a communist nation. So everything was done internally. They blocked themselves off from the rest of the world. And because of that, they were able to heavily indoctrinate the people within. But they didn't advance as fast as South Korea, because South Korea was open to globalization. They were open to international trade. And at a certain point, even if they started in the same place, they were able to overtake North Korea in terms of development. Why? Because they had access to insights that North Korea didn't have access to. Knowledge isn't power, but the strategic application of knowledge is. In the same way, great businesses are built on great insights. Unknown truths are the insights that are just on the verge of becoming common knowledge. So unknown truths aren't necessarily unknown to everyone, but they are only known to a select few people. And the thing is, majority of people live in the realm of known truths, not unknown truths. And known truths get people common results. The world is operating based on sabi niya eh, or nabasa ko sa news, or nakita ko sa TikTok eh. Most people, unfortunately, define their truth through parroting what others say, regurgitating what others believe, and in the end, they get the same results as everyone else, which oftentimes is unsatisfactory. Let's narrow it down to talking about this in the example of business. One of the things that a lot of businesses do is they copy-paste social media trends. And that is because a lot of businesses live in the realm of known truth. So once it is done by a lot of people, it must be what they must do as well. And there's nothing wrong with participating in social media trends, but unfortunately, it doesn't differentiate you. More so, I don't think it's profitable most of the time. I remember yung recent trend wherein parang sa start my car na babangga sa'yo or babanggain sila ng bull or mababasa ng tubig, an attention-grabbing event for like 1 to 2 seconds, and then it would cut into the office where yung employees yung natatapunan ng tubig, sila yung nababangga. But anyway, I found that trend completely amusing. But this is my point, right? Everyone's blindly following the trend and not understanding the why behind it. As a business, you have to be focused on adding value instead of being desperate to stay relevant. Relevance is good, but as a main goal, oftentimes relevance is not enough because it does not directly translate to revenue. The success of your business is based on the quality of your decisions. Warren Buffett only makes 2 to 3 decisions per year on which companies to invest. And yet, he is one of the richest men alive. I remember he has a term for investments. It's fat something, like fat investments or fat pitches, I think is it. He waits for those investments that are so loaded with value. And while he's waiting for yung mga investments na yun, guess what he does? He reads 4 to 6 hours a day, just stacking his mind up with insights. One of the favorite quotes I've ever heard from an entrepreneur, it's by Mark Andreessen. So he's of Norwegian descent and a well-known venture capitalist. And he says, it's better to be in the right trend even if your execution is imperfect, rather than be in a shrinking or wrong trend and execute flawlessly. Let that sink in. If you've consumed enough content from successful entrepreneurs, you will notice one thing. They're always at the bleeding edge of trends. They're not the ones that are lagging behind and trying to catch up with the trends. They are the ones who are able to spot trends even before they happen, and they're able to reposition themselves to take full advantage of these trends. Here in the innovation diffusion theory, we will see the categories of how people normally react to the trends. Innovators, we have these people who take action, people who are able to spot trends and just boldly go into it. For example, when Apple spotted that people were enjoying phones, but there were still a lot of improvements that could be done so that our lives would be easier, they started building up smartphones. Apple knew that we would want that eventually, right? I remember I was just so happy playing Snake and Space Impact. I didn't know that there were so many possible gaming apps that you could build out of a smartphone. They innovated. And I remember the first few smartphones that were launched seemed like an overnight success. And then Samsung noticed that people were buying this smartphone thing and they were buying a lot of it. So Samsung decided to get on board and build up the Android phones, which we all know now there is a Android versus Apple war. And then we have the general majority. So we have Huawei, Xiaomi. These companies followed after they were sure that people would buy, and they started creating smartphones for more specialized markets. And then there were the laggards, and these types of people or companies are those that are usually late to adapt to a trend. So what happens is, papasok pa lang sila sa trend, pawala na yung trend or heavily saturated na yung market. We could imagine Nokia as being one of these companies. Isipin mo lang, which companies are the companies that launched smartphones when everyone already had a smartphone? And also we can notice the profit opportunity during trends. Most of the profits are made by those who are able to position themselves at the beginning of a trend because they have specific insights, so they make the most out of it. Here is the current distribution of revenue throughout those that are in the smartphone industry. So rev share Q1 2024, Apple had 43%, Samsung had 25%, Xiaomi, Huawei, no information, Nokia, BlackBerry, no information. Total revenue, Q1 2024, we have Apple with 47.9 billion. We have Samsung with 20 billion. And we have Xiaomi with 10 billion. And we have Nokia, BlackBerry, still no available information online. Okay, now I want to share how a single insight changed my life. So this is Peng Joon. You could just type his name on Facebook or Google. Noong 2016, my friend and I, his name's Bobby, we attended an event where several coaches from different countries came and they shared their expertise. Some shared about Forex, some shared about mindset, and Peng Joon shared about digital marketing. And he was able to present so well. Bobby and I were so hyped, and there was such a good deal during that event. I told him that I've never spent this much amount of money so fast, and he said, "Ako din pare." Anyway, I know this is a simple realization, right? That there were 200 people who paid 60,000 for an online course. This was the time na hindi pa rin sobrang into digital marketing or social media lahat. There were people who were already getting involved, but I wouldn't say that it was as mainstream as it was a few years after this. And when I realized this, no, na people were willing to learn how to make money online and pay for it, something clicked for me. I just knew that this was going to be big. So being a sales director, I started pondering on how to transition from traditional direct selling methods where everything depended on in-person interactions. You drive through the traffic to go to an appointment that you had booked over the phone and you sell for 2 to 3 hours and then you go home empty-handed. Damn, those were really character building times. But anyway, instead of that, I wanted to create a system where people could sell products, like direct sellers could sell products online seamlessly and effortlessly. And I knew that if I could build a model that could allow distributors all around the world to sell without ever leaving their homes, it could tap into a huge market that was asleep. But I needed more insights to make the vision a reality. So 2018, I gathered more insights. I spent a lot of money on courses. I bought a lead generation course, appointment booking course, automated webinar course, and eventually I localized everything that I learned and I molded it for our specific market and I implemented it with our team. So in 2018 to 2019, we launched our online system and we noticed a significant revenue increase expectedly. And in 2020, the pandemic hit and the world changed overnight. People lost jobs, businesses shut down. Everyone was scrambling to figure out how to survive, how to adapt, how to make money without leaving home. So the need for online businesses skyrocketed, and during this time, we were ready. Yung system that we have been perfecting for years was exactly what people needed, and the demand just poured in. And one of the videos that I previously posted about our online business, this was 2018, I posted it 2018. Nag-boom siya nung 2019 onwards, and it gathered like 35,000 reacts and 357,000 comments. And the business group that we had, just to show you, grew to over 300,000 members. And more importantly, we were able to help distributors make money online, 400,000 in a month to 200,000 pesos in a month. This one was around, I don't know, 200K, usually around that range. Right? These were good times. Right, so. Okay, now what's the lesson in all of this? This all began with a single insight. As our competitors were scrambling to adapt, we have moved so far ahead that we were operating in a space where we were unrivaled. And I'm not saying, oh, it was because of me. It's because of the principle of positioning yourself because of insights. That will work for anyone who does the same thing. But if I had been merely a follower, mimicking what other companies were doing, reacting instead of observing, our story would have been totally different. Throughout the following years, I learned how to recreate this process and implement it into different businesses. I learned the art of insight development, which can be implemented for any industry and any field. And this is what we also implement with our clients. So in the next few minutes, that's what I'm going to walk through. All right, let's begin. That was a long ass introduction. But anyway, right, so this is the AS.io Insight Venn diagram. So it is divided into 3 circles. So the first circle is future trend insights. The second circle is growth model insight. And the third one is undeniable offer insights. In the middle of these circles, you can see texts, and these texts are the qualifiers which make these insights valuable. When you are able to aggregate and derive insights for these 3 key success drivers, you have a winning insight. All right, so let's go through them one by one. First is future trends. Businesses that are able to skillfully anticipate future trends almost seem like they have a sixth sense. But how do they do this? Based on my experience, it's about two main drivers. The first driver is market sophistication. As the market evolves, so do people within them. Behavior shift, preferences refine, expectations rise. As markets mature, the business has to mature with the market, or else you risk being irrelevant. So let's take Netflix, for example. Netflix was delivered via mail, but during this time, they weren't the leading movie film distributors. In fact, they tried to sell themselves to Blockbuster for, I think, $50 million, but Blockbuster denied. But they were constantly on the lookout for trends that would arise, and they noticed that there was increasing demand for subscription-based services. Consumers were so used to renting movies from physical stores, but as technologies shifted and the market became more sophisticated, people wanted movies, and they wanted movies fast and easy. So instead of sticking to traditional rental model, what happened was Netflix shifted into a subscription-based streaming service. And this, as we know and experience today, disrupted the entire entertainment industry. Almost every Filipino household is subscribed to Netflix, and this made them the market leader. Former giants had to follow Netflix. HBO followed suit, Disney followed suit, Amazon followed suit. Because of these shifts, because of these insight developments and implementations, today Netflix is a media giant with a revenue of over $31 billion annually as of 2023. 238 million subscribers. Can you think about that? Right. So first is, again, market sophistication that impacts future trends. Next is technologies. So new technologies are like fault lines running beneath every industry. When they shift, they change everything above them. 20 years ago, it was the internet. So what happened when the internet boomed? Businesses started developing websites. It served as a business card. New job opportunities arise like web development, web design, SEO, and there were e-commerce platforms built upon the internet like Amazon and eBay. Enter a few years after that, social media emerged as another disruptive innovation. So mga platforms like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, these guys entered the game. And what happened? Once again, there were new jobs that opened up, such as social media marketer, Facebook ads specialist, community manager. And just think about it. How many job opportunities opened up when Facebook came into the game? And again, now we have another trend, which is AI. AI has so many possible integrations when it comes to businesses, right? So maybe let's say you were a clinic. When the launch of the internet came, what you had to do was you had to have a website so that customers who were searching on Google could come across your business. And then when Facebook came, you realized as a clinic, you need to have a Facebook account and you have to post content there to connect with your audience in order for the audience to choose you amongst the competition. And then when AI came, which is right now, people are figuring out how they can use AI for their businesses. So if you have a clinic, one of the ways that you could probably use AI is to integrate it into the way that you respond to your customers. Instead of using keyword-based chatbot, you could use an AI-based chatbot, which is able to respond to queries in a more personalized way. In any case, as technology evolves, the landscape of business evolves as well. That's for the first circle, which is future trends. Next, there are growth models. At its core, no business should exist for the short term. When you optimize for stability, what you get is decline. But when you optimize for growth, as a side effect, you get stability. You have to begin with the end in mind. Businesses that thrive for decades are always looking at long-term sustainable ways on how to grow. Longevity doesn't come by accident. What to look out for in growth models? The first is you want to look for a good sustainability model. Profitability isn't a goal, it's the foundation. And when you are forming your business plan, or if you want to reevaluate your business today, what you want to look at is yung ability ng business mo to remain profitable for a sustained period of time. And oftentimes when we don't check yung business model natin, we get trapped into a negative cash flow flywheel that leaves us no choice but to close our business or to scale down yung operations natin. And I'll give you an example. Let's say you're a virtual assistant agency, and because hindi ka nag-isip ng long term, what could have happened is you weren't able to think of a way to properly position yourself and your offer to the market. So you're highly undifferentiated. You're just like everyone else. And what happens when you're undifferentiated? You have to compete based on price. And when you compete based on price, price, and I gotta tell you, some people say, well, price is a good way to compete. There is no benefit in being the second cheapest competitor in the market. But anyway, that's not the point. The point is, when you have a low price, what you get is cheap talent, especially if you're an agency. And when you get cheap talent, you end up getting shitty results, unfortunately. And shitty results gets you a bad reputation, and you're not able to retain your clients for more than 3 months. So you will have to keep on competing for price because your business has a bad rep, and this goes on and on and on until your business closes down or you restructure your business. On the other hand, if you have a differentiated offer, you have a value that cannot be found anywhere else, you can price your business higher. And when you price your business higher, you have margins for good talent, and good talent will get you great results, and great results will increase your brand's value because you have good reputation and you're going to be able to retain your clients. And as you collect more successful case studies, you can increase your price. Okay, now other than sustainability, we want to take a look at the scalability. At the end of the day, profitability is good, but wouldn't it be better to have your business allow for maximum impact? A scalable business is one that leverages its resources in such a way that each effort creates outsized returns. So the key here is, yes, to set a positive flywheel in motion, but it's also where your resources over time allows you to reinvest in a growth plan that will give you the biggest return. An example of a well-known scalability model is franchising. And the concept of franchising is you build a system for your business, guarantee that the system is profitable, and then you sell the system to other people who want a faster way to make money without having to go through the trial and error. When you sell the system to these franchisees and they start to make money, they give you back royalties because you were the one who gave them system. It is a way to increase the revenue of your overall business without you having to continuously pour in your own capital and other resources in order to grow it. Another strategy is horizontal integration. And essentially, yung horizontal integration is a company starting out as one vertical unit, which means that you have a certain set of products, usually targeting just one particular market. And then once you're able to gain enough profit margins and investments from stakeholders, you now have the ability to buy out other companies, and you become the head of the conglomerate of companies, and these companies now all are under you as the umbrella company. These businesses could be yung mga competitors mo, they could be totally different product lines. As they continue to grow, your company also continues to grow. So an example of this in the Philippines is Jollibee. They also own Chowking, Mang Inasal, Greenwich. That's why you would notice na oftentimes may mga strip na magkakatabi sila because it is all owned by the same company. This allows businesses to decrease yung competition nila, and it allows them to be able to scale far beyond their initial limitations of time, energy, and resources. Lastly, we have undeniable offer. So first is we have future trends. Second, we have the growth models. And third, we have the undeniable offer. So you want to imagine an offer that is so irresistible that people feel stupid for saying no. Okay, so there are two ways to take a look at the viability of your irresistible or undeniable or crazy offer. So first is you want to take a look at the speed of result. When you increase speed, you also increase the value of your product. Think about it. People are willing to pay premium for mga results that are delivered fast, faster shipping, quicker transformations, whatever form of expedited services. That's why people would rather pay 150,000 pesos for liposuction instead of paying 30,000 pesos for a gym coach to transform in 90 to 180 days. So when you think about this for your business, you want to think about how fast does your product or service give the customers what they want in comparison to other products and services out there in the market. Because if it's one of the slowest in delivering what your product or service guarantees, then you must increase the speed. And second, we want to take a look at the ease of the result. People hate suffering. So when you're able to decrease suffering, you increase the value of the product as well. For example, we have Uber. So Uber removed the friction of hailing a cab. It eliminated the hassle of payment exchanges and made getting from point A to point B seamless. I remember I used to, like, nung wala pa akong car, I used to take cabs all of the time, and there were sometimes I would have to wait for 2 to 3 hours during rush hour just to hail a cab. That's freaking insane. Imagine how much time you lose. Uber, this saved my life. This saved me a lot of time, right? So in any case, whether it's a physical product, a digital service, or even a consulting offer, when you can reduce the mental and physical load on your customer, you allow them not just to buy a result, you allow them to buy into a more effortless life. Now, the fluidity of insights. What does this mean? While some of the insights that you will think about may seem to fit into just one category, we must understand that they can all coexist in multiple categories and be derived from each other. Okay, what does this mean? All of the insights that you're going to build are interconnected. Okay, you don't want to be OC with like, sa growth model, ito lang yung insight ko. Sa future trend, ito lang yung insight ko. Sa undeniable offer, ito lang yung insight ko. All of these insights are supposed to be in one way or form related to each other. And later, we'll go through the actual process of building insights. Now, let's talk about the two types of insights. Let's talk about strategic versus tactical. In a nutshell, strategic insight focuses on the what and the why. So, this mainly focuses on yung bigger picture, the main direction by which you are going to point your business at. So for example, let's take a gym noticing that there's a trend in digital marketing. So they notice that they have to be able to be present in all social media channels. So that is the general direction of this business. However, how can this business maximize their presence within these social media channels? That's where the tactical insights come in. Okay, so if yung strategic insight is macro, yung tactical insight is yung micro. Instead of focusing on the what and why, sa tactical insight, you focus on the how and when. So for example, using the same scenario, how many times are you going to post per day in your Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok? Are you going to boost your ad? Are you going to hire an ad manager to boost them? Or are you going to outsource an agency? Are you going to do your marketing in-house? What type of brand image do you want to have? Are you going to build a community? What platforms will you use to own the community? All of these questions have to do with how you will execute the bigger picture. If we look at this illustration, strategic insight, broad, and then you have tactical steps. Now, here's what I noticed. And this is what we got caught up with then doing before, which is why there was a period where we couldn't get the results that we really wanted. Many businesses get stuck in one mode or the other. Like it's either strategic or it's either tactical. They either spend all of their time crafting grand strategies without grounding them in execution, or they get caught up in the weeds of daily operations without considering the bigger picture. Ito yung sinasabi natin, copy-paste lang. To truly succeed, you need to flow seamlessly between the two. You need to be able to know where you are going, and you need to know exactly what you need to do in order for you to get there. In other words, tactical insights, these are the things that win the short-term battles, but strategic insights wins the war. Now let me share the ways that I use to gather insights. There are many ways to gather insights. I'm not claiming that this is the best way, but for me, this is the easiest way and the fastest way. Surprise, surprise. You can use ChatGPT to build up an insight hypothesis. Let's go through this one by one now. Let's go to ChatGPT. So I recommend using the 4O model simply because this is way more sophisticated than the other model, especially when it comes to long prompts or complex tasks. So let's build an insight hypothesis together. You just copy paste this prompt. Okay, there we go. All right, so here's the prompt. I'm researching how to position my insert business type. Okay, ano ba kayang magandang business? Okay, let's use aesthetic clinic. Then once you are done filling that up, let it rip. So we have non-invasive, minimally invasive treatments, which is already being applied today. We have yung mga personalized, data-driven aesthetic care. That's interesting. We have regenerative aesthetics, virtual consultations, AR tools. Interesting. Wellness into aesthetic practices, stress relief, nutrition, mental health. Okay, this is good. This is good. I think this one is a bit more practical. Sige, I kind of like this one. Pero there are ways wherein we can do further research to verify. You can validate your insights if you want to move past AI by using mga sites like this. I particularly like Answer the Public kasi what this site does is it helps you look into all of yung mga search intents within a specific country in multiple platforms such as Google and TikTok. So like let's say for example, when you look at skincare and then you hit search, it's going to show you results with what people have been searching for. Okay, so it just takes a few seconds to load. Tapos ito makikita natin. Questions in Google from the Philippines using skincare. You get a trial account, you get like 3 searches per day, which I think is enough if you're just starting. And it's good to like list this all down. Later, I'll show a sheet that we use for yung mga clients namin so that you can also follow the template. When we go to TikTok naman, let's search the same thing. So TikTok, why don't we use the search word cosmetics? All right, so we have the results. This is a process that you can do virtually with any industry and with any keyword. And the more that you look into these specific searches, the more insights you're going to be able to gather. Now, I still feel led to go with yung trend of holistic because a lot of people are really going that direction these days. So what you want to do is you want to enter yung second prompt to go even narrower so that you can explore the trend further and see mga strategies of integration into your business. So you could just copy paste whatever you choose to this prompt. Tell ChatGPT that it's a trend that you want to explore and for it to list 5 ways that you can take advantage of the trend. There you go. All right. Here are choices. Wellness-oriented add-on services. Lymphatic drainage, aromatherapy. Okay, people already do that. Partner with a nutritionist or wellness coach to offer personalized nutrition plans that complete aesthetic treatments. Okay. Mindfulness and stress reduction. Big buzzwords. We have mga wellness retreats. I think this could actually work. There's something about the exclusivity of a retreat, and generally because the world is so busy these days, it's just really good to detox. Now that we have chosen a strategy, let's go for the growth model. Just copy paste this and then check out the results. Tiered membership program. Okay. Corporate wellness partnerships. Okay. Fitness training. Product line integration. It would be actually cool to have like a retreat that has like these spa sessions. You know what I mean? Parang astig yun. This one has branded wellness products, product line integration. I don't think that would sell. I think the tiered membership program works. Okay, now another way by which you can pick a growth model is to head on over to this site, which I think you will find extremely valuable if you want to learn about growth models. It's called businessmodelnavigator.com, and it allows you to explore different kinds of growth models and the companies that have successfully implemented it in their practice. Hidden revenue business model, revenue sharing business model, reverse engineering gradient, branding affiliation. There are lots, bro. So you could like read through this and become a growth model machine. All right, so another way that I like searching for insights is by actually listening to this Spotify account called Business Breakdowns. Let me see if I can... Business Breakdowns. Okay, so what's cool is they break down for almost an hour different kinds of models, and the people who break them down are usually operators or long-term investors in these brands. So you get to learn generally a lot about business. And again, building insights is not a one-day thing. This is a lifelong practice. And being learned in the way that many businesses operate today will definitely give you an edge into thinking of what you can implement next into your company. The most recent that I've listened to here is Disney. Yeah, Disney was good. I also listened to Patek Philippe, Rolex, and I also listened to Mitsubishi breakdown. And what's interesting is I didn't know that Mitsubishi had shares in a Philippine company. Another nice listen here is Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola does not have any store, and yet they are one of the biggest distributors of soft drinks all around the world because of the partnerships that they have. More than half of restaurants have Coca-Cola. So first, you want to look for businesses that have been operational for more than 100 years, simply because what they're doing is proven already. The second thing that you want to take a look at is companies that are experiencing hypergrowth, mga companies that are less than 10 years pa lang. However, they have surpassed expectations in terms of revenue growth. They must be doing something that the other companies are not, right? So business breakdowns, very helpful if you take a look at it. Okay, now, once you decide to narrow down yung growth model mo, just copy paste this next prompt so that you can narrow down further into the offer. All right, so let's do that. I think I'll go with the tiered membership program. And again, you can customize these prompts. These aren't set in stone. And sometimes the answers of ChatGPT, if you find them unsatisfactory, just, tweak some prompts, redo the whole process. Do further research. Do as you please. All right, so irresistible offer for market. Okay, exclusive retreat access. This is what I was talking about. Like in the retreat, personalized treatments, luxury accommodations. Damn, that would be so good. All right, so lifetime discount on all treatments and services. Members enjoy priority booking. Okay. These are all good offers. In fact, like what I would do is I would use one offer as the main battering ram and add all of these things as the bonuses to make it even more compelling. But anyhow, we could stay with this because it's pretty simple. So once you've picked this, there is only one step left, which is asking for the tactical steps in order for you to implement this specific strategy. So once again, just copy paste this one. And again, you could just use these as guides. At the end of the day, ChatGPT can't run your business for you, but it can help you expedite the process of brainstorming. So yan, meron na siyang step by step, which just audit. Now that's going to continue, but let's move forward. Here are additional ways to generate insights. You could generate insights through direct customer feedback. So what does that mean? That means that you could deploy mga surveys and polls. That means you can have customer interviews, or you could just simply ask how their experience is casually, and you may get good insight from that. You can analyze internal data. If you have a CRM, if you have an email marketing campaign, you could check yung mga open rates for certain email topics. You can also analyze which ads you have the best click-through rates. You could also take a look at what the competitors are doing. What ads are they launching? What offers are they offering? You can also do it through networking and learning, which is attending mga events, which I find invaluable also many times. Again, yung insight ko with the direct selling company was from a single event. Okay, you could also do podcast, YouTube. I do podcast and YouTube a lot, like unbelievably. Okay, now testing and scaling insights. Now that we have yung step by step, we want to see if it works, right? The idea is you want to start small, okay? You don't want to go all in. You want to have metrics that you're going to measure, and once you measure these metrics, scale them if they are doing better returns than your current model. Launch a pilot program, gather feedback, gather data, gather information. And if it seems like it's worth scaling, then go ahead and scale it. Here's an example of what we use for you mga customers or clients namin. This is easy to make, just follow the template and testing strategy. So here's an example. Okay, so future trend for a VA agency. Okay, the insight was that what if instead of offering like basic services like customer support or social media management, what if the VA agency actually focused on providing data analysis, not just administrative work? Once you gather yung mga insights, you want to make a hypothesis, no? So we cannot predict the future, but we can make intelligent guesses about it, right? So, and based off that hypothesis is what you build yung tactical steps mo from. And then again, you implement a testing strategy, and then based on the result, you also set kung ano yung mga magandang next steps, and then any remarks if you notice that there are nuances that you may want to take note of. So I hope that was valuable, and I hope you were able to get insights from this training so that you can apply into your business. And here's what I want to leave you with. Many businesses who are still stuck following the herd and continue in doing what everyone else is doing, not leading with insights, these businesses for sure are going to get left behind. The businesses that are going to last are the businesses that see into the future, and they build products and offers that is unique, valuable, and relevant. At the end of the day, there are always two types of people, two types of founders, two types of CEOs, those that learn and those that implement what they learn. At the end of the day, growth can only happen if our rate of learning is congruent to our rate of change. We can't keep on learning, parang mental masturbation. Here's what I noticed. Successful entrepreneurs, they acquire skills and knowledge faster, and they change behavior faster than the rest. So what's going to get you from your current situation to your desired situation is not only knowing more things, but acting on the things that you know. The execution of what you learned will take you from where you are to where you want to be. And I am 100% confident that if you take all of this information and you were able to implement everything that I said, you would see significant results in your business. With the information that I shared, you can gather insights that 95% of your competitors will not discover until it's too late. With what I shared, you can use the insights to position yourself as a market visionary, offering something new to the table and getting out of being seen as just any company. With what I just shared, you can test and scale insights into a business model that is future-proof, that you can eventually sell for millions or even billions, or passed down to the next generation. If we parted ways right now, and you were left to your own devices and you implement all of these that I shared in your business, I know you would be able to do it. However, implementation doesn't always have to be this hard. In fact, it can be painless and fast. So if you're interested to learn how to not only solve the insight constraint, but skip all the guesswork and leverage off years of knowledge and experience to transform the insights that we can gather for you into significant, undeniable results, my team and I would like to offer a free consulting session. In this consulting session, we can explore how we can take your business from where it is now, uncover your industry's best insights, strategize a unique positioning, elevate all of its bottlenecks, scale it to a new revenue record, plus sustain that growth. If that's a possibility that you would want to explore, you can apply for a call with us in the link below. It's www.calendly.com/asystems. Again, that's www.calendly.com/asystems. We currently have capacity for 4 clients. This is actually per quarter. So we are offering free consultations for the first 10 businesses. We're available to take in calls during MWF 12 to 5 p.m. So again, I hope you learned a lot from this session. I know it was quite longer than the last one, but I would rather have us understanding concepts, principles, frameworks comprehensively rather than just them being ideas and staying as ideas. I would rather us learn how to understand these principles and turn them into actions that would get us the results that you deserve as an entrepreneur. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time.